Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with another Path of Exile video. I wanted to basically fill the gaps on the Dark Pact build I've been league starting with. I did take a small deviation from the build and played the Iron Mass, but went back to the Dark Pact, which we are slowly but steadily moving into high budget. But I wanted to talk about a few changes that's happened into this league based off my previous build guide and basically go through a couple of different approaches to what you can do. But I want to show you the low budget build first on PUB. This is what you guys have been looking at when it comes to PUB, the low budget state. However, I do believe that we had a little bit of a different approach because we used the Curse and Hate Assassin's Mark Ring, which is no longer available, which I do believe is in the PUB still. However, the solution to this, or the reason for this, is to generate power charges. Now, without that, we kind of were forced to use a setup like Overstorm's Power Charge and Crit. However, you can actually use Carnage Chieftains and Host Chieftain Specters from Ashen Fields Act 7 to get yourself power charges and frenzy charges, allowing you to very easily get your power charges for single target, for example. Another solution I had for clearing to make this a bit smoother was actually to spec into the Disciple of the Forbidden, which gives you minimum power charge, but also power charge and kill. This is something I felt was really comfortable in the early stage. So the low budget build, basically what you have to focus on is trying to get yourself a Blessed Rebirth for the skeletons to survive very easily upon summoning. And you also need to get yourself something like either a Gloomfang, which I didn't like too much, so I actually went on and got myself a Hunter-based amulet or a Delve Dropped amulet with Chaos Damage leached as HP. It's something like this that has Chaos Damage leech as life, which is more than enough to get yourself the leech that you need together with the Soul Tether belt. So what I've been doing when I moved over from low budget into high budget has been to basically craft a little bit better ones, +2 ones. Working on the second one. Let's not talk about how that's going. And I also changed the belt into Torrent's Reclamation by achieving myself, or getting myself, a Glorious Vanity of Awana that gives me the Keystone change to Immortal Ambition, which is the modifier that you get from the Soul Tether, allowing me to change my belt. Now, obviously, you can use a Stygian Vice, a leather belt. You can also go for Darkness and Throne, which arguably can give you a lot more damage and defense. But the Torrent's Reclamation is an insane belt for this build. Definitely increases the clear speed significantly, so this is something I would recommend for higher budgets. If you want to fiddle around with it, you want to go for as much damage nodes inside the circle that would benefit you, but most importantly, you want to try to get a Glorious Vanity Jewel that gives you Ritual of Shadows, which gives you Inflict Withered on hit, which increases clear speed damage or clear damage a lot more, and also helps you get those 15 stacks faster on bosses, and don't really need to use the Wither Totem. I still do, though, to get those 15 stacks quick up on bosses. There are a couple of other nodes within this that you can get. However, this is all dependent on the numerical value of the sacrifice in the name of Awana. So what I did was I purchased a Glorious Vanity. I checked if I got it. If I didn't, I whispered other people that has Glorious Vanity for sale, and I gave them 10 chaos to basically just switch the jewels, and eventually I got this one. Best case scenario, I would get this on one of these nodes, for example, but you know, there are some other nodes that you can get that are really good. For example, minions damage, chaos damage. Chaos damage, I do believe a crit multi somewhere as well. That would be really good. I got some spell damage right there. So there's a lot of different nodes that you can utilize. There's a crit multi, for example, with chaos damage again. Yes, like even these would be arguably good to pick up, but I didn't due to skill point starvation, if you will. So this is currently my setup for this, and it's working pretty well. I did manage to get myself a large cluster jewel with Touch of Cruelty, Unholy Grace, Wicked Paul to get this sorted, and then I picked myself up double Blessed Rebirth and Hulking Corpses, medium cluster jewels, and I'm working on that right now. Other than that, the build's working out very well. I am in this current version using Power Charge and Hit with Spell Crit chest piece, and I've realized how much of a value exploded chest pieces have for this build. However, the Power Charge on Crit is equivalent to... It's also the same influence, so it's very hard to get something that has Power Charge and Crit and the spell crits that you rather have on top of an exploded chest, which would be the endgame chest piece that I'd be going for. But you could skip the Power Charge on Crit and get Explode with the spell crit, which would be really good. However, by doing so, you would then have to use 2 Host Chieftains and 2 Carnage Chieftains. Since I'm using a Power Charge on Crit chest piece, this annoying sound in the background comes from these little 2 fuckers. So I have 2 Carnage Chieftains to generate Frenzy Charges for me. I'm using a Thay of Tool, which gives me this little buff, which Basically, it gives me 15% less damage taken and 20% chance to dodge spells and attacks. However, it's 100% uptime as long as I'm standing within it. But it's not moving, so it's stationary. The other buff is the shield from an Arena Master that gives me 20% increased damage, attack, and cast speed as well as movement speed. Every now and then has a little bit of an extra burst damage on top of the Torrent's Reclamation. So this is the way I'm playing it right now till I change my chest piece, and then I'll change the utility specters. Other than that, I'm wearing trash gloves with no minion life. I crafted the helmet for +3 in minion life with a Warlord's influence. So that one went pretty well, I'd say. I have a Despair on Hit ring, which apparently is not being scaled by Caster Curse effectiveness from the Catalyst, so I verified that doesn't work, sadly. I did craft myself a pair of really bad elusive Tailwind boots, but there's no HP on them, so my defense is a little bit lacking, and especially versus Porcupine, since I'm not using Explodey Chest right now. And the other ring is just the HP and resistances, so it's very straightforward, and I did purchase a Bottle of Faith. Other than that, the build's working out extremely well as expected. Having lots of fun, but the solution to the power charges is there, and I think that's like the only change compared to the Dark Pact. Obviously, the original build guide for this is linked in the descriptions below. My build is currently doing about 15 to 16 million Shaper DPS, and I'm slowly but steadily getting that up. Once I change the wand, I will be looking at almost 20 million Shaper DPS. It's nowhere near the 111 million Shaper DPS we did back in Harvest, but it's getting there. So that's like the only update I have for this guide, and if you want to watch the full thing, watch the video linked in the descriptions. But yeah, that's all I got for you boys. So I'll be considering to make a new build pretty soon, so if you guys have any suggestions for what I want to play, or what I should play, hit me up in the comments below, hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe, and keep rocking.